and grow the business and scale it up very fast. Like when we invited Achi Masala, the turnover was 300 crores. 5 years down the line, it is 1,100 crores. Thyrocare Velumanizar has sold his business to the other fellows. See, somewhere we are also spotting out talents who are good, who continue to do very well. With the program, after the program, not that we have added value, we have only learned, but that's the way we have done that. We have done a couple of programs in the colleges, like Ethraj College and all that. And a lot of students, after our program, went into start businesses and they have been doing well. And we have actually, last year, we have picked up some 20 students among the colleges in Chennai. We handhold them. We taught them all these nuisances of starting business. Maybe 1 or 2 girls, we had got some funding from the bank. Okay, that's about that. Let me actually now get back to today's speaker. Mr. Vivek Sivanandam is a super extraordinary person. See, why I say this? The coir industry is one where I have invested some money. Now somebody is running, and there is close to around 10 lakh units surrounding Coimbatore, Pollachi, Kerala, and all the places. I used to value the business not very high. I know there is a lot of potential, having traveled globally on agriculture and all that, but I never thought somebody from Pollachi can take the company, Vivek Exports, Nivida Exports, and sell it off to United States at high valuation. That needs a lot of courage, homework, guts, and the confidence in the business. That he was, I think, I'll finish in 1 or 2 minutes. So that is why we picked up Mr. Vivek, even though he was having a lot of issues there. He agreed to be here. That's why the short notice. He's agreed to be here. I hope a lot of students join and take benefit of it. So he will actually walk through his life. He had dropped out of engineering, went to New Zealand, did some management program, went to United States, did management program, and then started handholding the company. In a short span of 7 years, he has made it so big. So big, now we have moved to investing. As an angel investor, he is investing. That's great. So we are seeing a combination of a person who can say, yes, I have done that, let me leave it off. Go to something else. Let us actually make sunshine in many entrepreneurs. That's a great thing of him. So I now leave it to Mr. Vivek, and Chitra madam can actually request her to speak. So let us hear from him. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening. Okay. Thank you. Chitra madam. Yeah, Chitra madam.
Sir.
You are muted. Yeah. You can now
yes, sir.
Request the speaker to thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Mr. Vivek Sivanandam, partner, Bullion Ventures, USA, to address the participants.
Thank you, Mr. KB sir and Nagappan sir. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to all. Hope you're all good. And thank you for taking the time early this morning to attend this session. Let me introduce myself. I'm Vivek Sivanandam, partner at Bullion Ventures. So I basically, I originate from a town called Pollachi in Tamil Nadu. Right now I'm living in United States in Atlanta. This is my home for now. So first of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity. And I feel very honored and privileged that I've been invited to speak at this event, Success at First Hand. Talking about success, I can tell you guys that the success that I have currently has come no easier. It's been 15 years of my time and energy in this whole journey of my entrepreneurial life. So when I say 15 years, I started this ambition that I wanted to be an entrepreneur in life, even when I was in my first year of college. So after my high school in Pollachi, I decided to, I don't want to bore you guys with my complete story, but I can tell you the phases of what I went through in my entrepreneurial journey. So as a after completing my high school, just like everybody, at that time, engineering was something that was very popular, very much trending, and parents felt very safe that, being an engineer, that, someone can have a very secure career, can earn a 6-digit salary and be settled for life. So that's the path I first chose. I mean, I was forced to choose. But then, after going into it, I kind of quickly figured out that, it was not my cup of tea. And I didn't want to be, I didn't want to be in a very comfortable circle where I'll be settled in a job, taking, no risks in life and be comfortable with the kind of compensation which somebody will determine for me. So am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. So as a young student, I didn't want to pick that path of being comfortable in a job or in a corporate world. So rather, I wanted to have more flexibility and more freedom in life, and I wanted to determine my own value for the time and effort I put for something that I will create. So that is why I chose the path of entrepreneurship. So being an entrepreneur was not only just a path that I had, it was a personality, it was a mindset that I had even from the beginning of my student life. So when I say it's a mindset, so I had a very clear vision that I wanted to be a successful entrepreneur, even when I was just 17 years of age at that time, while my fellow friends, everybody were comfortably settling in their careers. I wanted to take this I was very determined to take this path of being an entrepreneur. So in this journey, I can tell you, I saw a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of success and failure. For that fact, my first business that I started was actually when I was, I joined an engineering college first, and then, it was in Coimbatore, and then found that, okay, I have to start doing something in business. I have to start learning business. So I started a BPO call center while I was in my first year of college as a part-time business. So in that business, I kind of started working on it. I created the business. I hired project consultants. I loaned 2 lakh rupees from my dad, started to invest in the business, and ended up, spending weeks, months in creating that business. But the project consultants that I hired were kind of fraudsters. So they made a fool out of me. They cheated me. And the first business I started in my entrepreneur journey was a failure. Was an utter failure. I was fooled, I was cheated, I was embarrassed in front of my whole friends and family, that literally I wasted the money and time. So I was embarrassed so much that I wanted to drop out of engineering, and literally went away from not only from the college, also from the country. But I was determined that, okay, I'm embarrassed right now, but one day I will be a successful entrepreneur. So that determination was there even from the beginning of my career. So I went all the way to New Zealand to study business management. So even as my first business was a failure. So I did, I was very determined that I will be able to create a successful business someday. And I wanted to educate myself and be prepared for the things that I will be handling for the business in future. So I went to do a master, a business management degree in New Zealand. And even then, after I dropped out of my engineering and pursued my business management in New Zealand, I started a side business, a secondary part-time business. I started a cleaning company, which basically, we clean people's houses. I hired my fellow students and we did door-to-door sales, door-to-door knocking of just random people in a country like New Zealand, where I had no idea before I went. So we offered cleaning services to those people. So at that time, that business was gave me a very high confidence, because that experience as a salesman, as a door-to-door salesman, even today, I will attribute that my personality and the success and the confidence I have was actually due to that door-to-door sales that I did several years ago. So there is definitely attribution of that. So that business which I did was actually a very successful business. As a student, I started that business and it was very successful. 3 years down the line, I finished, I finished my college successfully, and the business was also good. And I sold that business for $100,000 to my own professor in the college. My own professor bought that business. He found that I was doing a successful business as a side hustle, and he know that I will leave the country. So he bought my business for $100,000 at that time. In 2009, it was good money. So that was a small success I had in my life at that time. My first business was failure. Second business gave me a little success. And then after I came back to India, did a lot of, startups. I started, trialing, started a lot of business from restaurants, from software company, from tech businesses. A lot of business saw success and failures both. But on one fine year, when I was, just visiting the US for just vacation, I found it interesting that this cocoa peat, which is also called coir, was high in demand in the country. And lucky for me that that product was actually being manufactured by my by my own family. So my mother, who had a factory, a very small cottage unit like factory, which is manufacturing cocoa peat. So I found that there was an opportunity, that there is a high demand in the US for such product. And here I was, linked that, okay, my family is, having some small infrastructure to supply that product. So I saw the gap, I saw an opportunity, and then came back to the country with full determination that I will, scale this business up, grow this business with this huge demand coming in. But there was a bigger challenge for me. What the challenge is, the demand was super high, but the supply was very, very small, very, very low. My infrastructure I had was not even merely decimals of what the demand was. So I quickly learned that, in 2017, I quickly learned that this is how the industry was operating. It was largely very unorganized sector. It was very unorganized sector, and there is thousands of players, thousands of manufacturing units in this industry, and they're all around the same sizes. They're all around, small scale, micro scale industries. So this is where I saw the first opportunity. I observed that there is high demand, but the supply is very unorganized. The supply is very scattered. So I began to think that what if I can aggregate all the supply and represent the supply as one, and then meet the demand. So that was the strategy I planned. And at that time when I started, I really did not have much of a working capital or any investment to infuse more into business. So fortunately for me, one of the customer who I was trying to target trusted in me and gave me gave me an advance of 5 lakh rupees to buy that product. With that 5 lakh rupees, I started my first load of shipment in 2017. I still remember in June 2017, I started that first load of shipment. So that shipment of one load in 2022, we grew that into multi-folds. In 2022, we shipped 1,200 containers per year. It all started with just one container of export. And in just a matter of 5 years, we exported 1,200 containers in 2022 in just 1 year. And the our turnover was 120 crores. From just 5 lakh, it grew to 120 crores. This is all in a matter of 5 years. So what I'm trying to say is, my dear friends, it is not about entrepreneurship is always about that mindset. and the personality. You have to be very determined. You have to have that positivity and determination that no matter whatever ups and downs and failures or success, you have to be, you have to stay committed to an entrepreneurship. It's like a relationship. You have to be committed to that journey of entrepreneurship. If not, there is no way that there will be a success in this journey. Even if you fail, it doesn't matter. Your personality, this business, one business can fail, but the next business can be successful. The personality and the mindset is what matters for an entrepreneur. And business model opportunities, they keep coming and changing. Opportunities come and change every year, every decade it changes. But you as an entrepreneur have to always be ready to observe and to see, spot whatever gap in the country, and identify that gap to turn into a successful business for yourself. When I was able to go into this coir business, the market was already saturated, hundreds, thousands of players. So how I was able to be successful is I'm very sure it's just not about being genius. It's about doing things in a better way. You take any product, there's always a better product to be made. If you have an iPhone, there can be a better iPhone. If you have a business, there can also be a better way to do the same business. So even if it is a crowded business, even if it is highly competitive business, there is always a better way to do that business. There's always a better product to create, or there is always an opportunity that a lot of people don't see that you can leverage on. So it's about the determination and the mindset of an entrepreneur what matters. Opportunities keep coming and going, and then you have to stay committed to that opportunity. That is when you will all find success in your careers. This is my story of the business. So once I grew the business to 120 crores in 2022, I decided, okay, now I come to a sizable number, and I kind of figured now it's the time to exit. So when and at this time I became from no one, I became to the largest exporter of cocoa peat in the whole of world. I mean, in the world itself, we were the Niveta exporters were the largest exporter of cocoa peat blocks. So at that time, I felt there was nothing much. The growth from double-digit growth, it was slowing down. So that time I took a decision to exit the business. So I found a buyer. The buyer found me, and they offered us a good valuation, and we decided to sell the company. And now, my dear friends, after having my first business as a fail, and a following business which gave me a little gratification of small success, and several other business of ups and downs, my last business gave me the highest possible success that I've had in my life at this moment. And even now, I don't want to settle on this success. I wanted to create a lot of young entrepreneurs like me and motivate them to this wonderful journey of entrepreneurship, pull them to this loop, and make sure they also contribute success. I mean, they also be successful in their journeys, and they make good money, or they make good impact in the society. I will through our firm Bullion Ventures, we are always excited to hear great ideas, and we are ready to invest in disruptive ideas that we believe will have highest potential in future. So that's all I wanted to say for you guys for now. Yes, Dr. KV sir.
Thank you, sir. That was really encouraging. We have lots of students in this webinar. Hope they will take lots of inputs from you. We can take question answers. Questions.
I will start with the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just put the heat on everybody.
Yeah.
Vivek. So Vivek, when you went into the business, the coir business, it is super crowded industry. You knew that it's a super crowded industry. It is unorganized. it is cottage, still you can do better.
Yes. Yes, like I just said, sir, there is always a better way of doing things, like as I said, if there is a car, you can make a better car. There is a business, you can make that business in a better way. Like if it is an unorganized business, there is a gap that you see, it is unorganized. So you can make that business organized. How do you make it organized? That the guys have to, figure out, like there is always a better way of doing anything. There is nothing called the best. There is always an opportunity to improve. Even as a personality, you are not the best. There is always an opportunity to be the better of yourself, right? So
Right.
I think that is what people have to spot. It is not the competition. It is how you can do things better than other competition.
Maybe related to that 1% technically, the EC, electrical conductivity of the coir pith, how do you are able to get it successfully for that entire export below that whatever is prescribed in US? US has got the highest standards of, all these salts and all, which we call it as an electrical conductivity. So
Right.
EC has to be the lowest. How you are able to achieve? For students and all of us listening will be useful. See, I am bringing it. It is not simple coir pith, you pack and send it out. There is
Correct.
something too technical into that, which is called as electrical conductivity. How did you do that?
Well, we had probably 20 to 30 QC executives that we hired. And we had 180 factories that we affiliated with who were contract manufacturing for our company. So we made sure the quality is within our spec. So if there is no quality within our spec, we were not giving them any further orders. So, and also with our quality control people visiting their factories on road every day, very frequently, they were able to identify if the production was, within spec or, if it is off spec. So we were able to advise the suppliers right before the purchase itself. So we were able to control that. And for that fact, even those kind of things where our customers were liking that, because we were able to give our customer a holistic report of quality. We were great in reporting and communicating when it comes to quality information. We were very committed to the time of delivery, and we were giving them a exorbitant customer service. So all these three aspects, quality, time commitment, and customer service, all these three factors put together was contributing, customer satisfaction and retention, basically. And that is one of the main factors that we were, on the spotlight for new customer, for us to get new customers.
No, it's good. Maybe one word and then maybe president or somebody can take it up. Only to sum up, to tell, whatever my impression is. You actually taken up a low intensity product.
Yes.
And taken it to the country where the requirements are very strict. So
correct.
It's like, from the guy, I should not use that word, from one end, from the bottom of the hill to the Himalayas. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's like, great of you.
I want to tell the entrepreneurs and the young students here is, there is money that can be made in anything and everything. You can make money in anything and everything. What you choose matters. You choose a high value product to make money, or you choose a low value but a high volume product to make money and to grow your business, right? That choice is yours, but there is money to be made in everything, right? Even tomorrow, it's about your thinking. Like I want to tell the young fellow student entrepreneurs here is, it's always about the thinking. Even tomorrow, if you want to start a 100 crore company, don't think like it is 100 crore. It's just about only selling, 3 pieces of product that is 10 lakh per day. Sorry, three products a day, 10 lakh worth of value. You can achieve that 100 crore of turnover in a year. So you change the way you think, and then you will reach the goal. So always don't be shy to think large, to think big. Always thinking big will help you only grow, not to, society or people can, demotivate you, but you yourself have to believe you, and you have to always have that clear manifestation and vision to, grow large and think big.
So excellent. I think we will actually leave it to members and students to question, like throw their doubts and, whatever doubts they had. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Somebody has.
Nagapan, you're muted. Nagapan.
You said, Mr. Vivek, you said the consultants have cheated you in the beginning. Oh, if so,
Yeah.
For a budding entrepreneur, there's always a challenge. Who will you go for some sort of a genuine guidance or advice or mentoring? And inexperience is a big handicap for them. How to identify a honest mentor or an expert? How did you handle this?
Well, I think it is part of the learning, and I think being cheated or being backstabbed is a part of is a part of the entrepreneurial journey. So in my life, I have been cheated by consultant, backstabbed by employees, by business partners. These are all part of your learning experience, and I believe somebody has to experience this to make sure you take the right lesson from these experience and to apply these when you grow large, right? But how to avoid this situation is by clear educating by yourself. When an inexperience can lead you into a bad situation, it is a clear matter of inexperience. You have to blame yourself. So the only way that you can avoid this situation is be informed, be educated.
Okay, I think that's something which we will learn by experience.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
Different schools cannot teach you that. But I have one additional question to that. See, I come across many third generation entrepreneurs who are in this line of business, who are in your area, the Pollachi or Urmalpet, with hundreds of acres of land, and they're doing coconut and other things. But I see the third generation is not encouraged to be an entrepreneur in the same families who have paid a lot of money out of this business. They are not allowed to try out something new, value-added products. They're always cautioned about the risk associated with this. Basically, because, as you rightly mentioned, you felt like a fool once you got cheated, and the fear of failure, and the fear of particularly being laughed at by friends and relatives. That is the how to come across. It's not all that easy for many. I've come across many youngsters, doing MBA from the same families who want to do a lot of things very in a dynamic way, but not encouraged or motivated by the family to do something very different. Continue whatever we are doing. That's the safer option. So how to handle that?
Well, firstly, I must say I was fortunate to be born into a family that my parents were always encouraging, even though I gave them a lot of embarrassing situation, a lot of failures they've seen in my career. They were answerable to my fellow society people. They were always being supportive to me. So likewise, I do not expect every family to have the same situation. To that fact, even some of my cousins have, situations like their family parents, they want to stay in the same business. They expect the kids to, continue the same business and not to do anything out of that. So I think it is, if you are not able to convince even your parents that you will be a successful entrepreneur one day, and if you're not able to convince your own family members, then it is hard for you to, prove in the society. I think the first thing you have to do is to believe in yourself, then make your family members believe in you, and then the society will come in. But if you are failing to convince even your family members that you are not a capable business person and you're at a risk of failure, then obviously the entrepreneur itself is kind of lagging the sense of entrepreneurship. The sense of entrepreneurship itself should be very convincing that even despite of whatever uncertainty and short-term failers, you will be a successful entrepreneur one day. That I can assure you. That level of confidence the young entrepreneurs for third generation entrepreneurs should show to the family, should showcase that, should have that personality in them. So like I said, it's always about the personality. It's not about like, I have this business idea and I want to, I know this business idea will work and I can make money out of it. It's not about that. It's about the personality, how confident you are that you will be successful one day. You can turn even any small business idea into a successful business idea, or it doesn't matter. It's about the personality of an entrepreneur that you will convince your family members. Also, you will convince the world through your journey.
One question posted by CA Madhavan. Sir, how do you address any product failures despite best efforts? Your experience, if any, may please be shared, sir. If not, otherwise, objection per chance. I think want to know how do you handle the product failures?
Well, I think it's product failures is always part of any business. And first thing, you have to be honest about the failure to all the stakeholders, customers or the employees, that in spite of the best efforts that the product has failed. It's not that anybody wants to, purposely fail a product, right? Everybody puts from the bottom to the top, everybody puts their best efforts to make something successful. In spite of the best effort, is something is failure, I think you have to admit to the failure and be committed that you will make a better product next time, right? So that commitment to make a better product next time shows that you are determined to improve, and you accept that your efforts were failed. You recognize it and you're committed to improve on the next upcoming product, right? So I think that honesty and commitment should be there.
Any questions? I think I will request people to feel free to ask or post it in the chat box. So Mahesh Mehta, Chitra, I can unmute Mr. Mahesh.
Yes.
Mr. Mahesh, please unmute.
So Vivek, Mr. Mahesh Mehta is the chairman of expert committee on MSME in our chamber.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Sir, congratulations to Nagappan, sir, the entire team of Chamber of Commerce. This is Dr. Balasamy from Coimbatore, KPR. Congratulations, Vivek Sivanandam, sir, to be a guest for this great day. I'm also from a native person from Pollachi. Sir suddenly send a link and all those things. Sorry for the late joining. And I hope you achieved a great. And even now, sir, also almost half of the question raised by our Nagappan sir itself. In Pollachi and Udumalpet, we are having many natural resources, especially coir and coconut and related and fresh vegetables. According to your experience, because you are an experienced guy, you are lucky enough to have an entrepreneurial family. What are all the scopes? Because now you know very well about coir and all comes under orange zone. Even the existing farmers also facing and small issues for preparation and exporting and all those things. What is the alternative way and how they may shift to other products, or according to your experience, can you suggest some alternative methods? This may be an input for upcoming young entrepreneurs.
I mean, is your question related to the pollution orange zone, or
that pollution now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, see, I see it is a good thing. I personally see it is a good thing. Why? Because I will tell you, largely coir business is still unorganized, right? So there has to be an external influence to make this industry an organized industry. In spite of Niveda exporters trying to organize this, there is a lot of unorganized players in this industry. Just one company cannot do magic here, right? So somebody like external body trying to say, hey, the whole industry is polluting. This is the norms. Anybody who is following these norms is eligible to run the factory, right? And it is true that there is a certain amount of slightly pollution is happening, and we are not going to deny that, right? And we have to address that in a professional way. And if the whole industry are able to follow that guideline, we can avoid the situation where even somebody who has like a very small investment of 10 lakh can put a coir unit. That will go away. There will be more of organized players who will come in and set up, okay, I will follow the guidance as per the law This is the guidance. This is the infrastructure I should have to operate a plant. This is the facility I should provide to my employees. This is the benefit I should provide to the laborers. All this, if it is a matter of compliance, if it is strictly followed, then is when an industry will start organizing. For that fact, I can give you an example. Dyeing units in Tirupur was largely like this. There was so much of unfragmented, unorganized dyeing units. But once when the pollution board came into play, that is when the whole industry got to slightly organized. Right. So it a lot of small fishes in the pond may die, but big fishes will continue to live and the industry will thrive. So that's my view.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Vanakkam. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah. Vanakkam, Mahesh here. Mahesh Mehta here.
Hello, Mahesh, sir.
Yes, sir. My question to you is that how do you differentiate between mindset vis-a-vis clear vision? That is one thing. And secondly, a request to share images of some of your products.
Sir, your first question, there was a voice lag. How do you differentiate
mindset vis-a-vis? Can you differentiate between mindset vis-a-vis clear vision?
Oh, clear vision. Okay. Okay. See, mindset is about the personality. Okay. So I want to, let's say, it's an adamancy and a personality that you want to be a successful entrepreneur. It could be your vision, right? As a personally, that could be your vision. But mindset is something like, how do you personalize that? How do you personalize that? So you have to start behaving like an entrepreneur, start acting like an entrepreneur. How does an true entrepreneur act? He's not afraid of failures. He's not afraid of short-term instability or uncertainty, because we know the journey of the path of entrepreneurship itself is completely with uncertainty, is completely with instability. Today we have money, tomorrow we may not have money. So that is there. But in spite of that, our mindset is we are committed to this entrepreneurship. That is the mindset, and that is it will translate into the personality, how we carry ourselves, how we talk to people, how we network to people, everything that will translate from that mindset only. And the vision could be anything. You do not necessarily, vision could be an entrepreneur, could be somebody like, it's not just I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I mean, there is two ways to look at it. You can be an entrepreneur to make money or to make an impact, or for both, right? So you want to make money as an entrepreneur or to make impact as an entrepreneur in the society, or to both, right? So this is the vision, right? But the mindset is the personality. As a person, how you are letting yourself being identified as a personality, as an entrepreneur. So you have to carry yourself in a way like that.
Okay, I understood. That's very clear. Thank you. And during the course of this, if you can display images of some of your products, if it is convenient to you.
I do not have this at the moment, but I will try to send it.
No problem.
Right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Next question. There are a lot of questions in the inbox. So there is actually one question from Dr. Gauri Ramachandran, our expert committee on women. She says, what are the challenges faced for getting institutional funding? If you can just throw some light on that, Mr. Vivek.
Right. I mean, for us, we never got institutional fundings. Our company was a completely bootstrapped company. We never took any external funding except an overdraft limit of I don't know, few lakhs overdraft limit, and our whole business was completely built bootstrapped. So when I say bootstrapped, all our working capital just compounded itself, and we had enough working capital. By end of 5 years, we didn't know where to deploy, and we started giving it to treasury. So I think that's my story. But saying that, nowadays there's a lot of ways you can get institutional fundings. There's a lot of means, and to do it. We are very lucky that we are in the era of entrepreneurialism, and we are in a society that motivates and looks startups with respect.
That's great. Yeah, we can take some more questions.
More question posted.
Okay. So,
I have a question to Mr. Vivek again. See,
Yeah, sure. Sir.
yeah. Why do you want to get out of, this is a typical question or the mental block or mindset block Indian entrepreneurs have, most of us. The things are changing now, but most of us. Why do you want to get out of a business which is already doing very well? Why don't you have all the cake instead of giving it to someone? Why do you exit? Is it a how painful or how joyful a decision it was?
Well, it is definitely a mixed bag of emotion. But saying that, if you see, that is what a business is. Every business has a cycle. You have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to admit that fact. Every business has a cycle, right? There is a cycle. The business is a cash cow. There is a cycle. The business is saturated and mature. But as an entrepreneur, whenever you're starting the business, you should also have a plan to exit the business. How do you exit the business? You can sell the company completely, or you can take it public, or you can merge it with somebody. There are so many ways to exit. Ultimately, you have created a baby and there is a value for that baby, right? So you want to keep just, going on that forever? No. Trend is changing, things are changing. So you have to take the right decision in the right time. So when there will be a right time that you will identify. So the business is going to be in a single digit of growth from this moment onwards. So then you have to identify the right way to either exit or to either boost the business to the next level, right? So that's the natural way that every business people should look at it.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I look at it. Mr. Vivek said, I feel, we need to exit the business.
Yes.
We are here to grow. We
Correct.
should exit and do something else better.
Correct.
The other thing is the traditional mindset is you hold on to the business for next generation. Our
Right.
kids will decide what they want to do. We have done it, leave it up. If they are capable, let them start something else, whatever they want.
See, the word of a serial entrepreneur itself is new to our society, relatively. But in countries like US, serial entrepreneur is something very normal. What does a serial entrepreneur do? He creates a business, he sells the business for profit. He goes and reinvests that profits into another business. He creates another bigger business, sells that business, right? Or takes it to a public, to IPO. So I think this is how people should look at business. I mean, if an entrepreneur's goal is to make money, if an entrepreneur's goal is to make an impact, like a sociopreneur, then it is a different thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Any more questions?
Yeah, probably if there is no question, we can actually,
Conclude the session.
yeah, give votes of thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there
We
any
will
other question in
conclude
the
the
chat
session.
box? Chitra madam, is there any other question in the chat box?
No, not really.
From Madhavan. Sir, how do you address price differentials post-corona as many prices have deeply enhanced your views, please? I think he's talking about inflation.
Sir, can you repeat it? I kind of.
Sir, how do you, Mr. Madhavan, are you there? Can you ask the question? I think it is better that you ask it.
Mr. Madhavan also has the previous question, I guess. There's a, okay, yeah. So is he there or?
I don't think he's there. He has to be unmuted.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can leave it, sir. I think the question is not very clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
We will
other
conclude
students who wants to who has
Yes.
question? Students?
Students all will be watching, it's
Okay.
inspiration they are getting from you, So
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
think just for the students, I think I've stressed this enough and repeated this enough. Entrepreneurship journey is possibly the best career you can take. I mean, you can comfortably go in a job and get a salary and settle in life and be in a comfortable, safe zone. But is that your fullest potential? Is that what you will, be very proud of when you're retiring? I don't think so. The only thing you will be proud of is when you create something valuable, then you will look back and say, hey, I've created something valuable either for yourself or for the society. That is when you look back and say you're proud of what you created. So everybody, no matter when you're a student or in whatever part of your age of life you are in, I think entrepreneurship journey is something that a human has to experience and to try. Even though there is a lot of uncertainty, instability in choosing the journey, when you're committed to it, put in at least 5 years of your time in this journey. And I'm very sure some of you will become really big entrepreneurs and be very successful. But stay committed. Don't be scared of failures. Failures is the biggest teacher. And disappointments and failures are the biggest teacher, and the biggest lessons in your life will be learned from your failures only. With that, I think I would like to conclude my talks here too.
That's a great message to the students, Mr. Vivek. We will conclude the session. May I now invite Mr. Vijay P. Chodia, President-elect, Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, to propose vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. It gives me great pleasure in proposing a formal vote of thanks. Thank you, Mr. Vivek Sivanandam, for taking time off from your busy schedule and accepting to address the audience in our Success First-Hand program. We started this Success First-Hand program from 2012, and we have invited many eminent personalities to share their experience and success stories. And today, we have had the pleasure of listening to you. From zero working capital in your company to becoming a leading international producer of high-quality cocoa coir products, and then being acquired by Profile Products USA, has been a very interesting journey. I once again thank you for addressing our members today. This reminds me of my nephew, who, while studying in Stanford, developed an app called Pulse. This became the highest app downloaded at that time and was also acknowledged by Tim Cook. He later got an offer from LinkedIn and sold it to them for $90 million. That's again a success story.
True. Well, we're glad to know that.
Yeah, he is living in San Francisco now. I thank Dr. K.V. Rajendran, Chairman, Entrepreneurship Development Committee, for identifying unique personalities to address our members. I thank the college faculties and students who have joined us, and I'm sure that this would be a great encouragement and motivation for the young generation. I thank all the participants and members of Hindustan Chamber who have participated in this program. I thank the Secretariat for their support to organize this program. Thank you all once again.
Well, thank you, sir. And I think before we wrap up, if any students or entrepreneurs need any guidance, or if you have any ideas that you want to develop on or build on, please feel free to contact me. I will leave my email with Mr. KV, sir. I will do my best to support you and guide you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thanks a lot. Good night, Mr. Vivek, and have a great day for all the participants. President and President-elect Chodia, Secretary. Yeah, this is
Thank
great.
you, sir.
I think yes. Thank
We
you.
had a very good
Sir, thank you, KV, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.